Hello students, today we will discuss about ultimate analysis of coal and its significance. So what is ultimate analysis? Ultimate analysis means the determination of percentage of carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, sulfur and oxygen in coal. Now we will discuss about determination of carbon and hydrogen by ultimate analysis. Now to determine the percentage of carbon and hydrogen in coal, about 1 to 2 grams of accurately weighed coal sample is burned in a current of pure oxygen in a combustion apparatus. Carbon and hydrogen present in the coal are converted into carbon dioxide and water vapors respectively. The gaseous products of combustion are absorbed or passed first through a free-way U-tube containing anhydrous calcium chloride in which water vapors get absorbed, and then through the K-way solution in a free-way U-tube where CO2 get absorbed. The increase in weight of U-tube containing anhydrous calcium chloride corresponds to weight of water form, and increase in weight of U-tube containing K-way solution corresponds to weight of carbon dioxide form. So here coal sample is taken into the crucible. Crucible is placed inside the combustion apparatus and this coal sample is burned in a current of pure dry oxygen. So whatever the carbon and hydrogen present in the coal, it is converted into carbon dioxide and water vapors. These gaseous products of combustion, these are passed through the tubes containing anhydrous calcium chloride solution and potassium hydroxide solution respectively. When this gaseous product is passed through the anhydrous calcium chloride solution tube, then H2O will absorb in this tube. Then it is passed through the K-way solution tube where CO2 get absorbed. Now we know the free weight of these tubes. Then by absorption of H2O and CO2 in these tubes, again there will be increase in weight of these tubes. Now the reactions that takes place. Carbon reacts with oxygen molecule, there is formation of carbon dioxide. Hydrogen molecule reacts with half oxygen molecule, there is formation of H2O. So here the atomic weight of carbon is 12 and the molecular weight of carbon dioxide is 44. Here the molecular weight of hydrogen molecule is 2 and the molecular weight of H2O molecule is 18. Now here carbon dioxide is get absorbed in KOH2. So KOH reacts with carbon dioxide and there is formation of K2CO3 and H2O. Now H2O vapors, these are get absorbed in CaCl tube. So here calcium chloride reacts with 7H2 and there is formation of CaCl2 7H2. Now the percentage of carbon and hydrogen in coal that can be calculated from these formulas. The first calculation of percentage of carbon. Percentage of carbon is equal to increase in weight of potassium hydroxide tube into 12 into 100 divided by weight of coal sample taken into 44. So here 12 is the atomic weight of carbon and 44 is the molecular weight of carbon dioxide. Similarly, the percentage of hydrogen in coal that can be calculated by this formula, percentage of hydrogen is equal to increase in weight of calcium chloride tube into 2 into 100 divided by weight of coal sample taken into 18. So here 2 is the molecular weight of hydrogen molecule and 18 is the molecular weight of H2 molecule. Now determination of percentage of nitrogen in coal. So percentage of nitrogen in coal that can be determined by Gelder's method. Now in this method about 1 gram of accurately weighed powdered coal is heated with concentrated H2SO4 along with K2SO4 as a catalyst in a long neck flask called as Gelder's flask till the solution becomes clear. After the solution becomes clear, it is treated with excess of KOH solution and the liberated ammonia is distilled over and absorbed in known volume of standard acid solution. So here this is Gelder's flask. In this Gelder's flask 1 to 2 gram of coal sample is taken, then concentrated H2SO4 is added to this coal sample and this mixture is heated along with K2SO4 catalyst till the solution becomes clear. Once the solution becomes clear, then it is treated with excess of potassium hydroxide solution, that is alkali, so where ammonia will be liberated. This ammonia liberated, it is distilled over and then it is absorbed in known volume of standard acid solution. The unused acid is then determined by back titration with standard sodium hydroxide solution. From the volume of acid used by ammonia liberated, the percentage of nitrogen in coal is calculated as percentage of nitrogen in coal is equal to volume of acid used into normality into 1.4 divided by weight of coal sample taken. So here 1.4 is taken from this relationship. 1 liter of 0.1 normal H2SO4 consumed is equivalent to 0.1 gram molecule of ammonia, which is equivalent to 1.4 gram of nitrogen. So 1.4 is taken from this relation. Now next, determination of percentage of sulfur. So determination of percentage of sulfur that can be done by barium sulfate method. So here a known weight of coal sample that is used to determine the calorific value of coal in a bomb calorimeter experiment is considered. The washings obtained from the known weight of coal sample is then contains sulfur in the form of sulfate. Now the washings containing sulfur in the form of sulfate are then treated with barium chloride solution when barium sulfate is precipitated. The precipitated barium sulfate or the precipitate of barium sulfate is filtered, then washed and heated to get constant weight. So this is the reaction. In this reaction here 32 is the atomic weight of sulfur and 233 is the molecular weight of barium sulfate. Now by this formula we can determine the percentage of sulfur. Percentage of sulfur is equal to weight of barium sulfate obtained into 32 into 100 divided by weight of coal sample taken in bomb calorimeter into 233. So here 32 is the atomic weight of sulfur and 233 is the molecular weight of barium sulfate. Percentage of ash in coal that can be determined by proximate analysis. Then percentage of oxygen, it is obtained from the equation percentage of oxygen is equal to 100 minus percentage of carbon plus hydrogen plus nitrogen plus sulfur plus ash content. So by this formula we can determine the percentage of oxygen. Now once you know the determination of the percentage of carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, sulfur, oxygen, then we should have to know the importance or significance of ultimate analysis. Ultimate analysis gives valuable information regarding the quality of coal. So first, carbon and hydrogen. Greater the percentage of carbon and hydrogen in coal, better is the quality of coal and higher is its calorific value. Carbon and hydrogen in coal directly contribute towards the calorific value of coal. Hence, the higher percentage of carbon and hydrogen in coal is desirable. The next one, nitrogen. Nitrogen has no calorific value and hence its presence in coal is undesirable. A good quality coal should have very little nitrogen content, that is less than 1%. And next one, sulfur. So here sulfur contributes towards the heating value of coal, but on combustion produces acids which have harmful effects of corroding the equipments and also cause atmospheric pollution, and therefore the presence of sulfur in coal is highly undesirable. The next one is oxygen. So oxygen content decreases the calorific value of coal. High oxygen content coals are characterized by high moisture, low calorific value and low coking power. Hence, a good quality coal should have low percentage of oxygen. So, in this ultimate analysis, here the presence of carbon and hydrogen is highly desirable. Presence of nitrogen, sulfur and oxygen in coal is highly undesirable. So dear students, ultimate analysis gives important or valuable information regarding the percentage of carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, sulfur, oxygen in coal. So all this about ultimate analysis of coal. Thanks.